When an intimate relationship ends, after a while you become aware that there were signs which you hadn't noticed. So when the energetic shift has happened, is the character aware of the energetic clues which happened before? No. You can endlessly become more conscious of the character. So if relationships or friendships end, or relationships with my family, and I've noticed continuously more and more depth to it. So for sure not. No. Like the unconscious is like I think they say like our actions are 95% unconscious or something, and it's so immense because the unconscious isn't yours. The unconscious is like the unconscious of humanity in your family system. So whatever your unconscious is, it could be that 10 generations ago your gran and grandpa were murdered, and that will be in your unconscious. Like that's karma, that's past lives. I mean, it might not even work like that. I just say it like that because that's what logically makes sense to me. But it's also humanity. We have World War II in us, World War I in us. We have famines in the last 1,000 years that happened across the world. And I mean, they've always happened, but I think they happen more so when we lived in bigger communities. So yeah, we've got all the wheat that we picked for many years being bent over in our unconscious. We've got the slave trade in our unconscious. We've got and it goes further and further back, because like humans evolved from apes, and then apes evolved from God knows what, but it goes on our line, and that's all in the unconscious. Isn't that amazing? Like we always take things so personally. Everybody's action is happening from the divine. It's not happening from a person. And we really take it's like our unconscious, and we've got to figure it out. So everybody's working unconsciously to an extent. So like the way that I speak and all my mannerisms come from the unconscious. You can endlessly analyze it. Like if you notice the way I speak, like my characteristics, there's also this other speaking that's happening that feels like it comes from no place. But then on the human level, the characteristics, like I have a childlikeness, and you could put that down to the unconscious. You could also put it down to the awakening as well, but you could put it down to the unconscious, and my relationship with my mum, my dad, her relationship with her mum, her dad, on it goes, on it goes. So yeah. And there's always, whenever you are in relationship with anybody, there's always going to be dynamics happening, and there's not one that's better than the other. They're just dynamics. It could be there's one that's more functional, but the fact that you're interacting with someone with these dynamics or with these red flags is because there's something in your unconscious that's attracted to it. So this goes on endlessly, and I don't ever expect to have worked Lisa out by the time I die. Like Lisa is an enigma that is so completely complex. I've not found the source code for her. Like, what is Lisa's programming? It's always a surprise. She seems to have certain patterns that I can realize. So yeah. So the same goes for you. So your dynamics, Derek, there's so much that you'll be unconscious of. We like to play as if we know everything, but we really don't. I've got to the end of my unconscious. I'm more conscious than the person next to me. Then why are you socializing with that person? Like, not saying that you shouldn't socialize with them if you're more conscious, but there's something in you that's attracted them that's in your unconscious. Why is that in your family? Like, why are you interacting with that? The mind always wants to take hierarchy. But then at the same time, notice that all these mind things, it's back and forward, and my reply, that's not truth. That's not what you're really looking for. So I'm answering your questions. I'm engaging in the questions, which is fine. But what you're really looking for is this moment. You're not looking for the end of your unconscious. That's like an endless thread. It's like the whole universe is thread. It's like a jumper, like as big as this universe, trying to find your unconscious. You'll endlessly seek to get to that. But what you really look for is this moment, this vastness. And the key to it is a surrender, but it's nobody's surrender. So it might seem like it's your surrender at times, like the person gives up more and more what it believes will bring it happiness, what it believes will fulfill it, what stories it needs to hold on to. And there is a surrender of all that, all these things that you think you have to be and you need to be and you want to be, is dissolved. And what you're left with is what is. There's nothing you need to be, just what you are, which is this. And then the rest will happen. Your personality will become more integrated through time, or it won't. It'll be a disaster and cause yourself lots of problems, and that's okay too.